This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Good evening, everybody. It's the Easthampton City Council Finance Committee meeting for Wednesday, March 13th. It's 5:32. I don't think we have any minutes to approve. That's okay. We can deal with it later. The only item on our agenda is the transfer for the PEG access account, which I don't think we really need to discuss too much unless, is there anything about it that you'd like to talk about, Councilor Dunham?
Well, I asked our auditor to come in. I had asked for a report of the account receipts. Essentially, over the last several years, I'm just trying to understand if there's a decline, so to speak, in the amount of reimbursement that's going to media, and just kind of want to. I don't know if there's a red flag of, is there less money going to e-media? And I just want to make sure that as a city asset, that I think that it is, that it's still able to, I don't want it to close, right, so to speak. And so I want to make sure that they have a healthy budget, so to speak, right? So I was wondering if you could just provided this report, and I was just wondering if you could walk us through it.
So the report I provided has receipts which we received through the fiscal year. I have it for 24, 23, and 22. It's a passing by amount, so we don't keep anything. We don't budget anything for e-media. Whatever we receive from PEG, having this PEG access services in the city, we just give it this whole amount to e-media. So if there is a reduction, there is a reduction outside of our control. So that's all.
And could you explain what PEG access is and where these funds come from for the community, for the residents?
Yeah, I can explain. I don't know what the mechanism is used behind the scene, but we received money from Spectrum Charter Communications. The receipt has been received by mayor's office. They do a turnover. They prepare this appropriation. I sign off on it, but because there is a state regulation which passed about 2.5 years ago, that we have to vote every time we spend out of this account. So that's why every quarter it's in front of the city council.
I can say a little bit about this. I learned a little bit about it when we were trying to do the public internet thing. So it's the amount that's here is based off of an assessment on people's cable TV bills. And I think if you go back to the law that established this, basically the idea was that there's some concerns, if I'm not mistaken, nobody sue me if I'm saying this exactly wrong. Yeah, but it's that basically there's some concerns that when these companies have these telecom services that are running through public right of ways, many of the poles are on public land and whatever, that there's sort of a concern about a monopoly, and this is an idea of part of remedying that is that in addition to when people pay for their cable TV bill, part of that bill, there's an assessment on that bill that goes to fund public, educational, and government TV services. And so there's a long-term, and I spoke with the previous e-media director at length about this back in maybe 2019, 2020. There's a real concern, not just in Easthampton, but statewide and nationally for a lot of these public access channels, because more and more people are moving away from using cable, specifically cable TV. So I, for instance, do not have cable TV. I stream, I have like Hulu for watching sports, and other than that, everything's just, I don't watch anything live. So I pay Charter every month for the internet, but that does not include a payment to Easthampton Media for the PEG access account. It's only specifically the cable TV bill that gets assessed like that. And so, if we end up seeing $510, which we could, then that could even accelerate this situation where you have you have more people. I think over time, as streaming options get better, as the actual connectivity speeds of internet get better, many people believe that cable TV is probably not a technology that's going to be with us for many, many more generations. And as more people move away from it, the amount of money that e-media receives for all sorts of services, not just cable internet, is going to decline. And I think that's something that we've always expected, but I agree with you, and it was sharp eye for you to notice this, but just over the last 2 years, it's kind of striking, really, that it's declined from, this time last year was 53,000, and now it's 49,000. You extrapolate that out over a couple of years, you're talking about, a staff. So it's something that I agree we should be talking about and keeping an eye on, and maybe it's something that we should be inviting the folks at eMedia in to see sort of what they make of this and what their plans are, and if there's anything we can do to sort of help make that long-term viable, because we obviously really need their services. So that's what I know.
No, that's helpful. That's the conversation that I want to start. I know we have budget season coming up and things like that, but certainly after that, I'd like to invite them in and kind of begin to have that conversation before it's like, holy cow, you have no money, or right. I'd like to kind of get ahead of this before it becomes a crisis for them.
Yeah, you know this about me. I am 100% in favor of talking about things before they become crises. So totally agreed. In terms of this appropriation, obviously I have, that whole thing aside, we should obviously send this money to them. So is there anything else you want to discuss before we do that?
No, that's it.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the appropriation of $49,588.09 from the PEG access account to the PEG access account.
Okay. Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Great. That's sort of all. The one thing I just wanted to talk about, and we can talk about it more when Councilor Trell gets back. But in terms of the salary stuff, I just wanted to say, having thought about it since our last time, whatever we end up doing, I kind of like the idea of thinking about maybe not just with the mayoral salary, but with everything that we're doing, kind of embracing more of the model of what we did with the mayoral salary, of thinking about it over, like, of thinking about these things over a 4-year period. That's just something that I kind of thought of, that it just seems like I kind of like the way that we did that it sort of builds in some predictability and reliability to those things. So that's just a thing that I kind of thought maybe we could continue, but we can continue to have that conversation. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay.
Unless President Gomez has anything.
President Gomez, do you have anything you want to talk about?
He's thinking.
Okay, great. Yes, thoughtful picture. All right, then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.